So on this, okay, I couldn't edit that out. So on this game this week, I ventured further afield than usual, and I'm in Budapest, and I'm going to have a chat with the chairperson of Budapest Gaels, and she can correct me on that just 1 second. So where else to start than outside of St. Stephen's Basilica, and I'm here with Holly Barr, the chairperson of Budapest Gaels.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Holly, listen, tell me, what took you out here to Budapest?
After I did my leaving cert, I decided to come out here to study veterinary through English as opposed to going to UCD just because of points. That's what the majority of our team is probably made up of. I
don't believe it's just because of points. I think it's because of adventure. Because,
it's
exactly. So listen, you're from Dublin from your accent. What part?
I'm from Ballantyre originally.
Oh, okay. And did you play GAA back home? So
yeah, I played for Ballantyre St. John's from nursery age up. So that was one of the hardest things about moving away, was the choice between quitting football at home. But to be honest, it didn't really make much difference because I can still play whenever I'm home, and obviously I can play out here as well.
And when you came out here, did you immediately find a club or the club found you?
No, the club hadn't been properly established back then in 2019 when I came out. So a group of 50-year girls took it upon themselves to set up to re-establish the club. So yeah, having played a few training sessions, we managed to go to a tournament right before COVID hit, and that was kind of the start of the club.
So tell us about COVID. How bad was it here? Because of course you're far away from home and it's in a very different language as well, unlike anything else in the world. How was it here during lockdown?
It was tough. We had to be here, and then we were going into college once a week. It was freezing cold, very dark, and we weren't allowed to leave our houses past 8 o'clock in the evening.
There was a curfew?
There was a curfew, yeah. So it was just very long days, very difficult. We didn't really see much of each other, and of course there was the risk that we might not have gotten home for Christmas in 2020. We all had to try test negative before flying home. So yeah, it was a long few months before we actually got home again.
What was the hardest part of, apart from missing out on Gaelic football and Gaelic football training, what was the hardest part on living here under COVID?
Probably the lack of socialising. Like, our college course is obviously very difficult, but it kind of balances out with how much fun we have, how enjoyable the social life is, seeing other students. But obviously we didn't have that over COVID, so it just made life very difficult.
Okay, so 2020, that's in a memory, not a distant memory, but it's a memory. How did you restart? Because a lot of clubs around Europe found it extremely difficult because people were very nervous to try and get back into, play.
Yeah. We got very lucky with last September. There was a tournament happening in Vienna, and it just so happened with the two 50-years, Cian and Katrina, they were able to relaunch the club. We had about 80 students going to Vienna for the tournament, fielding 2 teams. So because of that, it was such a fun week. It kind of encouraged everyone to keep playing GAA. So
okay.
It was great.
And listen, how difficult has it been? Because you've been based on with a lot of Irish students. Have any locals taken up the game at all?
We do actually have quite a few Hungarians and non-Irish who've never played before, never even seen the sport before, but they just picked it up straight away, so it's great.
And does that kind of does it help to sort of integrate them as well, because they're kind of like into the group?
Yeah, and they really do enjoy our fundraisers as well. They kind of, one of our Hungarian girls, she said she kind of mainly came for the pint after training, but she ended up actually really enjoying training as well. So.
Okay. No, listen, we're walking around here, so people see that like there's lots of noise and music and people drinking wine and other things. What's this? And this is the St. Stephen's Basilica. Tell us a little bit about it and how great is this Christmas market?
Yeah, one of the things I knew before coming out here was the Christmas market and how famous and well known it is, and I just think that this year especially they've gone to such lengths to try and make it special. They even have a display, lights display up on the Basilica. starting. It's just nice to kind of, you hear different cultures, people from all over the world here just to visit the Christmas markets, and we kind of take it for granted that it's at our doorstep every day for a few months.
That's it. Listen, with Budapest, I've been many times here and I've done work here. What makes it different? What makes it special? What makes it unique in your point of view?
I think it's a really safe city. So, like, you're always kind of, you feel at home even though you're not in Ireland. The 2 Irish pubs as well, they're great to go to. The 2 owners, they're always up for a chat. And I feel like you're always guaranteed to hear an Irish accent around the place. So the city, like, yes, it's beautiful and everything. The Hungarians might not be the friendliest to people, but
really?
Yeah.
Is it that they're just is it that they're not friendly, or just a little bit reserved, maybe, or?
I'd say reserved, yes, and they don't. If you don't speak Hungarian, which to be honest is most of our own fault for not learning it, they'd be quite reserved, yeah.
What Hungarian have you picked up?
I know.
On that topic, so what can you tell us? What can you tell us that we can use then when we're back in Hungary?
I can say hello, which is siesta.
That's like siesta. Spanish can say that, siesta. Okay, grand.
Thank you is köszönöm.
Köszönöm. Okay.
Cheers
yeah.
is egészségedre.
Okay, hold on. You're gonna have to say that again. I had to take out my teeth for that one. Okay, so egészségedre.
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 Anyway.
Okay, egészségedre. Okay, that's fairly okay.
And that gets me through a supermarket. So.
That's fair enough. So okay, here is the cathedral. Look, this is Budapest. In terms of just the history of Budapest, tell us a little bit about it that you know, and kind of the history of the city.
Well, I know I actually recently went to the Terror Museum of House of Political Terror, so I know that the Soviets only actually left in the 90s, which was quite surprising, but it kind of also shows like the architecture and everything here is quite reflective of that. So yeah, having gone to that museum, I kind of learned what a tough life the Hungarians have had in the past.
And yet they seem very resilient as well, because even, you see it, even now, there's a lot of Russian tourists going around, and they've kind of moved past it almost.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a strange thing. I mean, you never expect it, but they have.
Yeah, I think there's very little discrimination in the city. So no matter where you're from, they act the same.
Have you found any change the last few years? Because people look at, say, the political situation, say, oh, it's bad and repressive. I've not found that here. I've not found it repressive at all.
Yeah, I think because I mainly associate myself with the non-nationals and expats, that I haven't seen that much of a change, especially since Orban announced all the new laws last year, I think. So I haven't noticed much, but a lot of things, for example, like even the way they handled COVID, just kind of highlighted the differences between Hungary and Ireland.
What are some of the differences between Hungary and Ireland, in your experience?
To be honest, I think Ireland's just a way friendlier place. Everyone just seems happy constantly. People will always say, how are you, without even caring. A huge thing I've noticed being over here is that the Irish love to apologise even if it's not their own fault. I've lived with non-Irish students who have always asked me why am I saying sorry, which is quite funny.
It does seem in Eastern Europe that if you say sorry, it's a sign of weakness. So,
yeah, exactly.
And I think we don't quite understand that. But look, overall, tell us a bit about the club as well. How many members do you have? Where you train, and how often do you train? And how has it been developing the last, let's just say 3 years, since we'll take 2019 in?
So we have about currently 30, maybe 14 members officially registered with the club, but that's constantly changing due to new students coming in and people obviously graduating. But we train up in City Park, which obviously isn't ideal, but it's a free pitch, so it's the best we can do. But we kind of have to avoid running into dogs and children on the field. So it's not ideal.
So is it a field or just like a field?
A random field.
Like Phoenix Park, basically?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, okay.
So yeah, we're hoping to try find an actual pitch, because once we get to tournaments, our shooting is awful. because we haven't seen a goalpost. But yeah, we make the best of what we have. So we usually train once a week. It's just a bit of fun. We kind of plan it around social activities. So if there's an Irish rugby match on a Saturday night, we know we have to train on Saturday morning so that we won't have anyone who's hungover at training.
That's important.
So that's the main idea.
Now, I heard that in one of the Irish pubs, Jack does, you had a table quiz, or pub quiz not too long ago.
Yeah.
How important are events like that to sort of build community?
They're hugely important, especially here where we're so far from home. It makes such a difference when we can actually go and meet other people, meet people who aren't necessarily in our year in college and just talk about anything other than exams and studies. So I think that fundraisers, yes, they're for making money for the club, but they're also for everyone to come together. So it's nice.
Okay, so listen, we're rounding off our chat. Just tell me, Holly, food here, because everyone has their own kind of like dishes and foods. I know here goulash, and I've tried it here before. It's mega tasty. What else is there other than goulash and McDonald's?
I think it's a national dish, lagos, maybe.
Ah.
It's kind of a bread with creme fraiche in the middle of it. Not my cup of tea now. I wouldn't say it's the nicest. I think.
Wait, sour cream in the middle?
Sour cream in the middle, yeah.
Ooh, okay.
So it's just a bit of a mouthful.
In every sense, very well, yeah.
I think that whenever we actually treat ourselves to go out for dinner, we try to find comforts at home. So we'd be regularly eating in the Irish pub or just trying to get pasta or something that we're used to.
Listen, coming to study here, okay, how difficult was it to come to Hungary? Because people don't understand back home that there's a lot of Irish students have gone abroad to study, from Scandinavia all through Europe and Benelux, of course, as well. How difficult was it to come here and study, to get a place in university?
To get a place was relatively easy because we kind of had to just do interview. It wasn't based on our leaving cert results, so it was quite easy to come. But then making the decision to come, as I said, was difficult. Regards just your life at home, you fear the unexpected. You've no idea what you're signing yourself up for. But I think the thing with our college is everyone knows someone who has studied in Budapest. So I've spoken to loads of past and present pupils just about what life was like over here, so it didn't feel as daunting when I was moving over. But because there's so many of us and yet still not that many, we always have a chance to talk. Like, we know every Irish person who's studying in our college, which I think makes a huge difference. It makes the team less terrifying.
Okay, and look, you've got a couple of years left, so it's 5.5 years course. Will you stay? Will you go home? Will you move on somewhere else? Because now you've got the kind of the taste for travel and adventure already, on your tongue.
I think my plan is to definitely move home and live at home for a bit while working. And then, to be honest, I see myself living in Ireland. I think having been abroad, not that I'm done with travelling, but I don't have this fear to get out and see the world again. So I can definitely see myself settling at home.
So you appreciate here, but it's made you appreciate home a lot more.
Yeah, exactly.
Super. Okay. Holly Barr, thank you very much for your time.